Hey, Kevin here from Invisible Insights, your high performance coach, and here's something for your performance edge. Yes, it's a little something, something. And today I want to talk about this whole idea of how that our ascension and growth as an individual, as a high performer, as somebody who's personally goal oriented, wants to become the best version of themselves, how important it is if you want to have impact and influence that you understand the power of pull when it comes to those specific areas. Now, what I mean by this is coach. I was coaching someone today, and we were talking about that very subject, and they were wondering about the momentum and the key areas that they have to really factor in when it comes to, like, how do I influence this? I don't necessarily have the position to do that. I don't have the authority to do that. However, I do have the opportunity to share my voice. And many of you have that situation. You're in an organization, you have a role, you have responsibilities, and yet at the same time, you're trying to figure out, like, hey, how do I lead up effectively? How do I, build some momentum on my behalf when it comes to these ideas that I have? And or these things that I feel like I need to have done or get done, or things that need to happen. So let me share it with you like this. So if you are on a trajectory, if you're on a growth trajectory, if you're working on your personal development, which I think is key, and you got to understand, I think there's a whole lot of us who are overinformed and we're underdeveloped. We have all kinds of information. We have all these things. We have just never really articulated it in a way that allows us to be able to share it effectively with others to influence them. And I'm going to hit this again. That's why journaling is so important. It is that level of articulation about the things that we're learning on our trajectory as we're moving up, as we're reading and as we're listening and as we're, obviously, in collaboration with others. And like we talked about, the mentor, the moment, the moves, the level of collaboration that magnifies the moment and multiplies the move. We talked about that element. This is so important because what it does, it gives you the ability to pull. In other words, when your growth trajectory is ahead of your situations, and you're reading and you're developing and growing strategically and you're collaborating with others on it, you're going to come across a level of energy that's often invisible. We think energy is like powering up and kicking the door down and telling somebody, this is what we need to do. It isn't that at all. The invisible of energy is that whole idea that I'm on a trajectory. I have actually taken the time to properly process whatever the moments are that I have. I'm collaborating with others. It's magnifying those moments. Now I am thinking through the lens of, these are the things that I need to bring to the table. The I always get this word, the specificity, okay? How specific it is that you bring and how articulate it is that you bring those things because you journaled and you thought through and you thrashed through. You've done the work. That trajectory that you're on, that growth that you're on, now is a byproduct. You get to now distribute it effectively into key areas. Now, it's often going to come in the form of two things, all right? There's a big two here. It's going to come through the form of some element of, like, evaluation. And so you're going to sit down and say, hey, these are the things that we're doing that are good. These are the things that are kind of struggling. And these are the things that really are questionable that we have to figure out. And so, hey, these are some things that I've been thinking about that could address some of these key areas. Whenever you assess in a bigger picture and you narrow your focus around a few things that you can make an impact on, often ears perk up because it's specific to whatever it is that might affect the problem or be part of the problem. And this is the part we don't do due diligence on. We just don't. We just walk into meetings and wing it. We're not prepared. And so when you now have, hey, here's what I would propose that we do, and it's articulate, it now begins to start becoming logic, and logic wins. When something is logical and it makes sense, and it's a solution, and it has something that we can actually address and actually do something about, it builds hope, it builds expectation, it builds anticipation. And those three things together are a form of influence. Okay? There's energy behind it. It's invisible, but it's not a kick in the door down kind. It's just a connection and an articulation kind. It's really powerful, and it's patient, and it's willing to let it all hang out and let it be what it is, because you're not all attached to it, by the way. It's not you they're rejecting or accepting. It's the ideas. And when you have separation from that and you're free from that, wow, that's like legit. Now, here's the thing. Once that starts going and getting in place, guess what? The principle here is, when I can say the problem better than you can say the problem, you'll give me the power to solve it. It just, that huge invisible right there just lives and breathes in this whole process. So what does that look like for you? What are the things that are ticking you off and your boss isn't hearing you about, and the things that you do? Listen, if you're not going to speak effectively into them if you're not growing personally. So what are you reading? What are the things that you're doing to develop you that you could take and empty your cup in, articulate, thrash through, develop, and share and articulate? Oh my heavens. You're going to find there's incredible influence in it. It's slow and it's patient, but I'm telling you, it's powerful, and it's a huge invisible. So, like I said, when you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. So take care, everybody, and do some damage out there. Get on that ascension line and bring the influence, baby. We'll talk to you later.